So help me, let's put the second last part of h'tשכ. Help me put together Vihehi Oimen as Hadasah and Vayehi Ommen. What is it? How does the Maamar? The connection is the word Oimen and Ommen, which is the same it's the same word essentially, and the same meaning. It's one of the meanings. So how did he teach? The end, this just to tell you, so the Medrash is teach on Vayehi Ommen, and you'll recall that this is how the whole Bereshit begins with this pasuk. Understanding that, so understand Vihehi Oimen as Hadasah in more detail. He asked it. Anybody want to mention Bekitzer what the Maamar said? It's the last thing we learned yesterday, right? Yeah. I'm asking people to say something.
Like the flow, the Maamar?
Not answer the question I just asked.
Das is the neshama, even Zman Golos.
Esther is the
Esther is Esther with the, so even during that time, the Koyach HaNeshama shines bright. Sort of like the Hadasah and Esther element.
Right, and what's the Oimen business?
So right? We said a few different, there's a chinuch, there's a like 3 different pirushim, right? The chinuch, tznius, about
The word is mutzna, but he teaches
right,
it.
like hidden, whatever.
He gives it, he teaches exactly what it means.
he's nurturing the
Right.
neshama.
But he teaches exactly what it means. Before Macher, he teaches from the Alter Rebbe.
So it's not
Upbringing,
What?
like bringing her up, no? Raising her.
That's the pasuk, the teaching the pasuk. But from the Alter Rebbe, he gives the pirush. Okay, so here Oimen as Hadasah, he Esther means that even Zman HaGolos, as you said, Esther. So Hadasah, the Pnimis HaNeshama, the Koyach HaNeshama, the etzem of the Neshama, the Nitutskot and Beire is expressed, not in the way of oil, but in the way of Koyach. How? To the union of Oimen. What does Oimen mean? So for that he brings the Medrash Rabbi on the pasuk, Vayehi Ommen, the 3 titles of the Medrash Rabbi, which are mitzvahs, nigla, and nister. So that's the answer through the chinuch, children and our own selves in Torah mitzvahs in general. So that is ma'oden megala the Hadasah in the Esther. That's how he's teaching. If he Oimen as Hadasah, he Esther. He teaches it now this way. I didn't spell it out yesterday, but it's what he's saying. The point of it. It's not just saying he brought up Hadasah. Who is Hadasah? Esther. The Taich Pnimis is that what is Megala the Hadasah, Pnimis HaNeshama, even the time of Esther, it's Mordechai is avoida through the oifen of Oimen. There is Machanech Esther in mitzvahs. The details explains because the Medrash gives 3 meanings of the word Oimen: pedagog, and mutzna, and muster. He teaches that muster is mitzvahs, and pedagog is nikla, pelmamish, pedagog to educate in the practical way, and mutzna is nister, hidden. No, that was the first one. That's mitzvahs, which are levushim.
Right.
That's mechusa.
Pedagog is Arabic.
Pedagog, mechusa, and mutzna. Pedagog is nigla. Mechusa is.
Is it an Aramaic word?
No,
I've never
pedagog
seen it.
is maybe Aramaic. I think it's actually Latin.
Ah.
So, which has its roots in Aramaic too. So pedagogue is nigla. That's pel mamish, and mechusa mitzvahs, which are levushim, and pedagogue is pel mamish of Torah nigla, The chusa is the levushim mitzvahs and mutzvahs, a hidden dimension of Torah which chassidus. So Vayehi Oimen es Hadasah. So Mordechai is Oimen. All of these three things brings her up in a Yiddish way. So then he Esther, Hadasah Esther, even in a matzav of Hadasah Esther, this is what Moishe Rabbeinu does, as we said yesterday. This is basically the teichem of the last Maimer. We see repeatedly that the last Maimer that we've received till now from the Rebbe is the most essential Maimer possible in terms of the kavana, the ultimate kavana, that even in the time of revacha, of good, of plenty, should be the gilui of the etzem and neshama, the way of oil, not just koyach. That's what he's demanding, and we'll revisit that when we do the review again. But how does Mordechai do that? This is Mordechai. Vayehi Oimen es Hadasah. Mordechai nurtures this in us through Megala and Nigla and Chassidus and inspiring mitzvahs. This is 1964. No wonder a dream of the Miftzah tanks that had already begun in Torah already. Chassidus, Nigla, Chav Dalet, Chav Hei is when Rashi Sichas Pshat began. It's all for one point, to megala by each one of us the Hadasah of the neshama. That's the whole point of it. So when the Maimed in the situation of Haster Espone by Yemahu, Yidden have the Keich of Hadasah, Mesiris Nefesh. And the Maimed Vatavatzava adds, even in the time when it's not Hester Begashmius, and there's total freedom for our Ruchnius. Even then, that's the Chidush of Vatavatzava. So let's say again the last paragraph. Inyan Zeh, we know that also about the Tetzava is a Purim cotton Maimon. I'm sure this was pointed out. You thought about this yourself. Also, the Rebbe gives out about the Tetzava. The Tetzava is the one said there with the Moishe Rabbeinu's name doesn't appear. This was days before Zayin Oder and Gimel Tammuz. And why? So this explains that whole. Pashtus. Why? Because he said B'chein Yom B'siflecha, so it had to be fulfilled. But what's this B'chein Yom B'siflecha mean? That it's all about you. If it's not for Yidden, who needs a Torah? Shviras haluchos. That's how the whole Torah ends. Moishe Rabbeinu breaks the luchos. Why? Because it's all about the Yid. That's why there's a Torah, and that's why there's a creation, that's why there's everything. And who other than our Rebbe? I mean, it's not a question of comparison, it's just the Metzius. It's the Rebbe's whole identity. As I told you many times, maybe not. What about, I heard what from Barry Farkash, or just now again, we were forbanked again Friday, in his Chabad house Friday afternoon in Issachar. I told what Barry said to me. Remember the word? Should remember it. He said, why do you think the Rebbe stood hours every Sunday giving dollars? Now, aside from the obvious, the people in the brachas, and the Rebbe wants to give with all his heart, he's saying, bring me another Jew and and I want to look him, her in the eye. You should know that you are everything. You are everything. It's all for you. And forever, everybody says the same thing. When there was yechidus or dollars, when you stood by dollars on in yechidus, it could be 5 o'clock in the morning. The Rebbe is alert and awake, and you're the only person in the world. And your struggles, mamish, this is what the head gives every thousands or tens of thousands. people all felt. You can't do that, friend, unless it's true. You can't stand there for hours in your 80s on your feet fasting. Or the endless hours of Yechidus all night, invested in people's lives. Bislapshus, Gemura, if it's not true, but you are everything. That's what the Rebbe is megala. Vayehi Oimen es Hadasah. This is what it means that the Rebbe, the Nasi Yadoi, is Oimen es Hadasah. Es is megala by each one of us. The Pnimis HaNeshama. Ratat Etzal. Again, the last verse. L'chlolus, Sipur HaMaisa Shalom Megillah, and everything we've said now is negaya to the whole story of the Megillah. You understand this? What you're saying? You're going to hear the Megillah Motzei Shabbat or something. What are you listening to? What's the story you're listening to? And not a story, but a living relationship in the Metzias right now. Shetzrichim leida, that a Yid has to know, Sha'afa pi shebnei Yisrael omdo oz b'mayim d'matzav b'shayimakim l'gzeira v'oinish chulu. That even though Yidden were in a situation then that there was placed in the heavenly court for a decree and a punishment, he never won't spell it out. Chulu. Why keeping shoyo inyan the haster aster eitzel b'nei Yisrael the matter? Because Yidden were in a state of their own neshamas were concealed. Remember, that's how the whole Megillah begins with the banquet. Pitiful, pitiful Jews. Lost all semblance of self-respect. Therefore, they wish to respond in kind. You hid from me, and therefore I'm hidden from you. You call mokim le'ma'astim v'le'galtim l'chaloisa. I don't despise you and reject you, and God forbid l'chaloisa. We quoted the Gemara yesterday, the beautiful Gemara Megillah. It goes through all of these stages in our history that the pasuk is identifying. When was Laila Chaloisam to chas v'sholem, to annihilate b'mei Haman? And what does it mean? David says, I did not lay master v'loy ge'altim l'chaloisam. Says the Gemara, she'emadeti le'emadcha v'ester. Because before I already established Mordechai and Esther. Likewise, the Gemara goes on to point out in all of the matzavim that they wish to establish the Nasi Yisrael. At the very outset, before the Gzeira, a Jew has to know he has already this ability. He Oimen es Hadasah, and he's given the koiches, and it's invested in him, and the Mordechai and Esther do not tire. They don't give up on us. And it manifests itself in the chinuch, shal yidei ha'Torah and mitzvahs. The translation of this Oimen is the chinuch through Torah and mitzvah, sh'yidei zeh niten ha'koyach shebenesham. This unlocks the koyach level, the koyach atzmi, not the koyach klali, as we explained earlier. Ashegam kasher Esther. Even when the neshamas, instead of concealment, b'mayim the matzah daster aster panai, godliness, the neshama is concealed. Yeniket pulas ha'umen ba'chinuch to Torah mitzvahs. You can see. It's interesting, but I didn't bring this out yesterday. This is the touch. You can see the pull of the Omen of the Mechanech. You see on him he's a chassid. You see on him the stamp of the chinuch that he's opening to receive from Mordechai and Esther. Nikir pulas ha'umen ba'chinuch to Torah mitzvahs. How in his Mesiras Nefesh, his resoluteness. The time of Purim was a whole year. Because it was revealed then was the koyach neshama which expresses the Pnimis HaNeshama. As the Rebbe says, it was a whole year, and there was an escape clause. That's what Shalom. A person opted out. Nobody. We also I think that the Rebbe's lashon is didn't enter the mind, entertain the possibility. It's a gewaldige thing. I mean, you're under pressure, in or out, for a whole year to ruminate and think. Maybe the whole year means in every mind with the matzah. And that's what prayer with bit lag zayda. Actually, who did Moishe because the Yidden had light and joy and gladness because and Poshet Vikar. What's Vikar mean? Poshet, English expressions.
That's a little
Respect, friends. Means respect. And the Isiris was such that it affected the children, Pasuk says, to observe Purim forever. The Pasuk says that these days will never depart from the midst of the Yidden and the Zichram and their memory. The story of Purim, like Yosef, will never end the Mizaram from their offspring. From here we learn, says Paskas the Rambam, this Lashon Rambam, that even when all of the Sifrei Nevi'im from the Yerushalmi will be bottled in Megillas Esther, Loitibot, Megillas Esther is forever. So should it be for us. So this is not just Keich HaNeshama, this is not the Tetzav, that the Keich should be, the Neshama should illuminate Oid HaNeshama. And therefore we should see Elikus likewise in a revealed way. Now, this is 1964, and they have emphasized that the Gemara teaches these words, all of the words beprotius, Eires Teira, Simchas Yom Tov, Sasan is Mila, and Yikar is Tfilm. I mean, I'm saying because the Tfilm campaign came soon after. The whole Torah is compared to Tfilm. Klol HaTorah mitzvahs, a general commitment to mitzvahs, chinuch bazeh, and the emphasis on educating children. Shazel inyan Oimen Hadasah. He brought her up. He fostered her. And he says through all of this, Yikuy Mashakoso. The Gemara says that this refers to the Tefillin Shebarosh. That's what the Rebbe started the whole film campaign. And that all the nations of the world will see that the name of God is called upon you, they'll fear you. So the Gemara in Shalmi says, the name of Hashem is called upon you, Mamash Kipshut, upon you. Tefillin Shebarosh, where the Abish's name in the cloth in the scrolls is on your head. In the Yorom Mecca, they'll fear you. Surely you need this now. It's interesting also, usually the Lashon is Hageulo Hamitis. I'm sure that's where they have said it. Okay, so I think what we'll do now is we'll look at this sheet. Then we'll read their overview. Now, this sheet in combination with the first sheet, this is by no way explanation. We're not explaining. It's just tying together all of the. Let's go down. So just to explain how it works, not that complicated. We figured this out that the base 1, base 2, base 2, base 3, Dalet 3. That's the ois and the paragraph. So when you chaza the Maamar, you have this paper with you, and you can see, like the Likud of that Maamar, what the Likud of that paragraph, what it's bringing out. Sometimes a few points in one paragraph. So the Maimon begins with Hadasah he Esther, and the basic question is the pasuk says Vayehi Oimen as Hadasah Esther. Why is she called Esther? Her primary name is Hadasah. Especially Esther is a name that's given by the nations of the world. Esther means concealment. Why did the nations of the world call her Esther? Anybody remembers the Gemara? What Megillah? Why did they call her Esther? Ishtar they called her. Ishtar means the moon. Sierra, Esther, Sierra in the Aramaic, because she was as beautiful as the moon. So which stretches the question. The Pnimis will understand she's Malchus. That's why she's the moon. But why are we calling her Esther, not Hadasah? So the whole point of the Maimon is, the Chiddush is, the whole point of the Maimon is that in Esther, you have to know Yi Hadasah. Vayehi Oimen es Hadasah. That's what Mordechai is being pale. In the end, the pale mamish of it, Chinuch, Torah, mitzvahs, chassidus, nigla, the chinuch for children. That's what's megala, the Hadasah in the Esther, and that's the whole point of it. Because it's dafki in the Esther that the koyach haneshama by every year is revealed. Every year. So let's go down the line. So first of all, what's Hadasah? So it's Malchus. Hadasah and Esther are both Malchus. However, Hadasah is Malchus as Malchus where Natzilus. Whereas Esther is already Malchus as Malchus descends at Agleho Yored Smovis. The pasuk in Mishlei, the woman whose feet walk to death, it's referring to immorality. That's Malchus descending into Biyah where Hashem is concealed. Now, he explained the connection to the Hadasah. Hadasah and Hadasah. This is explained in the first ois. You can look at it. We'll glance at the first ois. You're all welcome to. Please respond. Hadasah. What's a Hadasah? The first is Mamah, you know. Everybody's shy, tired. Both. So don't be shy and don't be tired. So Hadasah is a myrtle. It has three leaves on one stem. That's chesed, that's the ikar of Zoh. Hadasah, he didn't say this in the mind, but I mentioned Hadasah with the hay makes it feminine. So the hay is Malchus. Hadasah, one word, Malchus, connected to Zoh, to Atzilus, to the Mashpia, the Mekabel, united. Mashpia is chesed, word, tiferes, and Malchus is the Mekabel, Hadasah. That's Malchus of Atzilus. Esther is already Malchus, separate, after receiving the Ashpah, but then descending into Biyah Golus, and Neshama coming Lamata to the Guf. B'chalal, as we see in this Maimon itself, Malchus is all of these layers. Neshama, Elikus, Shechina, and of course manifest in a woman. You're welcome to share this too. It's just like if you have guests Friday night, you sing the Chaya, just to a little bit of blow away little bomb. So it always works as it opens up. So you say about the Signature Scholar, just say this is in praise of the Jewish woman, the soul, and the feminine dimension of God. Yes, you heard right. God transcends both male and female, of course, all description, but he manifests a feminine dimension, and that's his deepest. His deepest. Malchus is rooted in. Eishes Chayil, Mamish talks about it. Eishes Chayil, all of its levels, it talks about Malchus, first of all, the Eishes Chayil, and the Neshama and the Shechin. Talking about Lila, that's Malchus descending in the previous Maimon. Maybe it was even here we mentioned it. Previous Maimon. Malchus descends into the world for remember? What's the teref of the Vayehi? What's that? Simple meaning, she gives teref.
Also,
Like wheat.
She gives teref food. That's the
Yes,
word.
that's right.
What does the word teref mean? The word treifa. What does it mean? Snatch. What?
like always a birur.
But it's a beruri, yeah, that we snatch. Why is that? Why is that with this beruri called snatch? Which implies like this.
It's
What's
tied down. So
tied down?
Has to be
No,
elevated. Has to be rip it out.
right? But it's another thing. It's suddenness.
Seven.
It implies also suddenness. Snatched is. And that's not a process of shchita,
Right.
whatever. It's snatched. It's prayed, unexpected. Why is that part of Hadasah Berurim? Why would that be? We mentioned this. Why would that be the way to describe Hadasah Berurim? Snatching the ''tschek dusha.
It's the world that we live in. Clippers are they cover over and concealment. And
We have to seize the
process.
all that is true, but it's also because I don't know if I spelled it out. You look at the Yid, look at his day, like everybody else, okay. Most of his days, working, and then all of a sudden, bim bom, it's a bim bom moment. His check comes, you don't see the difference still. The check, and then for this longest time, it looks like you were just in here for survival to make a living, like everybody else. No, all of a sudden, at the end, it's for a higher purpose. It's in a moment. It's in one moment that all of this energy, all this time is given to the Eibishter. So it's snatched, it's sudden and abrupt. It's abrupt because it doesn't externally match with the. I just thought you were about to make it back like me. No, it's
not a standard procedure. It's not a standard procedure process. Like,
yeah, it's a shocking thing at the end. That it's, hey, well, where'd you go with this? It's a whole different. So the two, so it means the whole Kabbalah till now, yeah, different agenda, but only comes out at the end. Thinking of Knaini, a merchant, also means to be somewhat deceitful. This element of deceit. That's the thing of Yaakov dressed up in Esav's clothing. But where's the deceit? Why must it be a deceitful way? Because for the most part, the lion's part of our life, we're engaged in the same thing everybody else is. In the end, it's all. It's not obvious. He's dressed in Esav's clothing. That's Knaini, merchant. Well, Knaini also means, again, deception. Somewhere. Let's go further. So the next thing he introduces in the same eyes. Now you tell me the pasuk panim acher. Nice words. I mean, obviously the Pnimius acher, the external, but it's all based on a pasuk. What's the pasuk? Panim va'acher tzartani. Where's that pasuk from? What chapter and verse? Huh?
Yesterday? We told him a couple days ago.
Yeah, you have it in the mind by the footnote. I deliberately want you to look and find it. Remember, it'd be nice if as I'm talking, you added all these points and fill this page with copious footnotes. That would be very nice.
Acher v'kedem sartani.
Acher v'kedem sartani. Yeah, acher v'kedem sartani. And where's the pasuk? No.
yes.
It's in the second paragraph. You don't look far. I'm telling you, it's in the second paragraph of Vayehi's base. Huh?
No,
That's Yeshiva Hashem Oimen.
Haftes Yud, yes.
No, that's for Yeshiva Hashem Oimen.
Oh, that's for Yeshiv. I think it's Kufla Mates, right?
Yeah, it is
No.
Kufal.
It's Kufla Mates,
Yeah.
hey, yes. Okay. So what's Hadasah? So Hadasah in general, if you talk about a likus, here he's talking about a likus. To get to the Neshamas, it's Gimel Dalet Hey. It's speaking about godliness. What's the panim of godliness? And what's the achad of godliness? The panim of godliness is the minor mishtal shalus. And the hinder part, the external level of expression of godliness is ishtal shalus. That's in general. In the big picture, but Proteus, still in Ois Base, chapter 3, what is it? Atzilus and Biyah. Yeah, that's clear. That's very clear. Yes, folks, feedback. Yeah? Yossi, good morning. Good to see you. Then, and I don't go into Pratim here because you see we're jumping from base to Ois Dalet. That's because this sheet, and let's look at it again. Everybody has it? Should I post it again? Let's quickly run through this sheet, which goes through a summary of Oisi's Gimel Dalet. In many ways, it's the heart of the mind. Oisi's Gimel Dalet Hey is what? In one word, what is the Rebbe out to do here? What's the quest here?
To show
And the maskana.
where the etzem neshama is, and to uncover the etzem neshama.
What is meant by the nitzutz cotton boiler? What is this level of etzem neshama? And again, to appreciate, before Purim Tafshin Chav Dalet, is what's going on. It's one darga, meaning to say, it's always ever present. It's what's being revealed. It was the level of l'chayra. Then the Rebbe adds omnam, and then a third darga b'oimek yosef. What's that saying, friends? By us learning the Maamar, so we're prodding. I mean, Magala. Okay, let's look at the Ois. Let's look at the page here for a quick overview. So I say, really, 5 to 7. Let's begin this. Right hand column, Sharak Dusha, and Chaim Vital. He talks about Adam Kadmon. Just go down the line there. Now, the first statement, Pnimis Adam Kadmon, which is Atik Adam Kadmon, he does not mention there in Sharak Dusha. It's actually from another source, which the Maamar brings later, but I already place it here. That's to get to the Oimek Yoser. He brings out that there is the level of Atik of Adam Kadmon, which is God the Pnimius of Adam Kadmon, but he doesn't speak about that in Sharak Dusha when he defines the Madreges Lamayla, when he defines Adam Kadmon. How does he start? Starts with the next box, below that. There's a level Oir Machzev Asvirus. Simple language, the Svirus of Adam Kadmon. What does what Machzev mean? Hewn out, yeah. A light hewn out from the divine manifested in spirits. Yeah. The place where it's hewn out. That's basic. That's the level of Adam Kadmon. That's its basic level. It's pnimis. Its etzem is atik, which the Maamar brings later. Then there's a lower level, Oir Machzav and Neshamas. That's when Neshamas emerge, and how is that defined in Eitzchayim? Keyword. Tell me, what's that word there? Next word in the box. Levushim Lasvim. Going down the line. That's right. It's just Levushim to the spheres. Atkan. This is Eitzchayim. Then he brought from the Pasach Eliyo that it's from reflecting the same thing. There it says that Neshamas Porchim b'bnei Nashim el Levushim. Back to Kinnis land, you made Levushim when Adam Kadmon, and it's from there that the Neshamas, from the level of Levush of Adam Kadmon, that the Neshamas fly or descend where b'nei Nashim to go from the matter. That, as you see in the blue, is Pasach Eliyo. So I understand, just clear, that in Sharak Dusha, it's the middle two boxes. The top box is from Eitzchayim in another place, which he brings in order to get to the Oimek Yosef. Okay, let's revisit this again tomorrow, Be'ezrat Hashem.